Alongside Libby Schaaf. I like that little eye roll right there. You certainly know how to fire up the Raider Nation.
Well, I'm an Oakland girl. What can I say?
Yeah, born and raised, which we appreciate. You saw that lead-in story, and Roger Goodell said, despite all these efforts, it is disappointing to me and our clubs to have come to this conclusion that you have not come up with a viable solution. What's your reaction to that?
Listen, that letter identifies two remaining issues. They claim that there's not enough specificity on the land deal. Again, we don't think that's true. We have a full term sheet. It's many pages long that lays out the relationship between ourselves and Fortress. What has been missing has been the Raiders. We cannot negotiate a final deal without the Raiders at the table, and they have refused to engage for us for a year. And again, we understand that they have had a frustrating journey, but that is the fact. The second issue that he raises is the A's, and claiming that the A's long-term lease on the existing Coliseum is an impediment to us having certainty as well as speed with building a new stadium. That is just not true. We have 55 acres right adjacent to the existing Coliseum that is shovel ready. We have done all the environmental clearance, all the approvals, 55 acres where we can start building the Raiders their stadium tomorrow while the A's continue to play in that Coliseum. We have committed, along with the A's, they have signed on to this, that we can begin demolition no later than the end of the 2024 season. And once we do demolish that and we build the new ancillary development, the development that will add jobs and a better fan experience around that sports complex, we have given the Raiders rights to ensure that any new development is complementary to the Raiders Stadium.
So everything he says, that your plan lacks clear and specific, actionable, and a reasonable time frame and free of major contingencies like the Oakland A's, everything that he's listing, you believe is not true.
Well, and that's why I called malarkey on it yesterday, because it is not true. The NFL has never voted to relocate a team out of a city that has come up with a fully financed stadium plan. And not only have we put together all the financing, and yes, it is a public-private partnership. We have brought in private resources to make the Oakland deal work. But this is a 55-acre site that's ready to go, and it's part of a wonderful 130-acre plan that will really be great for Raiders fans, for the NFL, and for the residents of Oakland.
Given the letter, the tone of the response, the initial indications, as I mentioned, from owners arriving at the meetings in Phoenix, do you believe that your representatives will get a fair shake at these meetings tomorrow?
We're asking for two things that we think will allow us to get a fairer shake. First of all, we're asking that the NFL conduct any votes on this relocation request by a secret or confidential ballot. That's what they did for the LA vote. We asked them to do the same thing for Oakland. Alternatively, we hope that they realize that Las Vegas is not ready, and that while the NFL staff has worked very hard over the last year, they have not been able to get it done in Oakland, despite the fact that we have all the ingredients. We also are asking that they allow a small group of experienced owners to work with us and see if they can't get Mark Davis to the table and answer all those questions that they seem to have about our proposal.
What happens if tomorrow the 24 owners vote yes on this relocation? Where are you at that point?
You know, I am so focused on ensuring that that does not happen. I have not had space in my heart to figure out a game plan if there is an undisputed failure tomorrow. It's hard to imagine, with all of the questions that remain about Las Vegas, that that will happen. However, I can certainly tell you that the Raider Nation is angry. They're hurt. They're injured. You know, this isn't just a business. A professional football team is culture, it's identity, it's lifeblood of the place where they play. This is much bigger than just a financial deal. They're angry and they're threatening to sue.
There's no question that Oakland is synonymous with the National Football League, with Oakland, excuse me. But in retrospect, you know that, and the Raider fans know, that Davis has been looking around for years. He went to San Antonio, no luck. Went to Los Angeles, ended up behind San Diego. And now he's in Las Vegas with a deal that may happen. Do you think, in retrospect, that you guys waited too long to come up with a viable solution?
You know, I've only been the mayor of Oakland for 2 years, and I have tremendous sympathy for Mr. Davis. I know he's been trying for at least a decade. And during that time, there have been 4 mayors and 9 city administrators with the city of Oakland. So I do have tremendous sympathy, and I cannot speak to what those years that preceded my being the mayor were like. I certainly could feel when I became the mayor and began engaging with him that there was tremendous frustration built up.
Nonetheless, I mean, you're the mayor. You're going through a difficult time in terms of your sports franchises. The Warriors are going to San Francisco. The Raiders may possibly relocate. How difficult has this been for you, being an Oakland native, growing up being an Oakland Raider fan, to see what's happening, what's potentially going to happen with the Raiders?
Well, it's heartbreaking. I'm an Oakland girl. I've been a Raiders fan all my life, even when they were in Oakland the first time. Like me, the Raiders were born and raised in Oakland, 1960. At the same time, it is my job as the mayor to balance many interests and to keep a cool head as I enter into this and any type of negotiation. I'm very proud of what we have put forward to the NFL. It is a fully financed deal that is a public-private partnership that does not abuse a public charity. It is responsible to the taxpayers, and it gets it done for the Raiders and their fans.
At the end of the day, it's pretty tough to compete with a city willing to pony up $750 million in public funds. That's the highest public monies that ever have been put up for a for a stadium. Was that the issue that you think tilted the NFL towards Las Vegas, or was it that this is sort of a last frontier for the NFL, that they want to be in a city that clearly would be a regular rotating Super Bowl on that schedule?
I'm not going to speculate about how the NFL has analyzed these 2 competing proposals or why they want to go to Las Vegas. I can tell you that $750 million in public money that theoretically is coming from a hotel tax, but is guaranteed by the general fund if those hotel taxes fall short. Oakland doesn't need that type of public investment. The stadium in Las Vegas costs an extra $700 million because it has to be domed. We have beautiful weather here. We don't have to have a domed stadium. They have to come up with more than a $350 million relocation fee. They have to build a practice facility. They have to contribute towards the transportation and infrastructure improvements that are required for that site. And they haven't even settled on a site nor have a negotiated lease. We have those things all taken care of. Our total cost is lower, and that's why we don't need that level of public subsidy.
Okay, well, I've been around the NFL a long time and know that stranger things have happened, that at the 11th hour there could be a change of heart. I'm wondering, a last question, have you had any communication, not with Mark Davis, not with the Raiders, but anybody else in the NFL that is influential that could sort of state your case?
Well, certainly the NFL executives, Commissioner Goodell, has always been very responsive. He's always answered the phone. He has been very helpful through this whole process. Despite the tone of that letter, he actually has been helpful. We, of course, are trying every angle, every connection, every relationship that we have to get to the owners directly. We will not stop doing that until we have a vote that is in our favor.
Okay. As we get out of here, when do the A's finally choose Howard Terminal?
Not soon enough. Not soon. But you know what? The A's have been a dream to work with. We meet with them every week. They are just so fun to work with. Their new campaign, Rooted in Oakland, could not be more of a love song to their city. So that relationship is fabulous.
Yeah, if there's a silver lining, A's are, they're sticking around.
Well, and that's the whole thing. I will not throw my baseball team out of town for my football team.
Right.
We love them both. We want them both to stay.
All right, Libby Schaaf, I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be back with more on Game Day in just a moment.